Hey, this is David Kaplan from ESPN 1000, the Kap and J Hood Morning Show, and NBC Sports Chicago. Do what I do. Watch Braggs in the Stands with Greg Braggs and Jake. Must watch television. Take that.
Oh, shit.
Y'all stay clear of the phone for the Twitch. Y'all stay clear of the Twitch.
It's the last second league fantasy draft. Who you taking? Dalton or Fields? Come on now. Let's go.
The Bears, they started this new tradition last year where they celebrate their wins the correct way.
Waddle and Sylvie, ESPN 1000, don't miss it.
I know what you mean.
It's like their own Philly.
Okay. Okay, I think what it is.
We shouldn't be showing this. Am I crazy?
Sign that is. What have I told you? 17 minutes of rain would wash away 108 years of drought.
Do you see this team growing into the team that you were in 2005?
Great practice, everybody.
ridiculous.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Brags in the Stands, and this is the last Second League Fantasy Draft special. We did one last year. Just at the inception of this show, it went kind of off the rails because we had no idea what we were doing a year ago at this time. But now we seem to have gotten our bearings a little bit, so we're going to have a little fun today. The draft starts at 9:15, but we thought we'd start a little early today. Talk a little Bears football, a little fantasy action, and anything anybody wants to, kind of get off their chest before the draft gets underway and we get kind of locked into that. So, again, I am your host, Gregory Braggs Jr., and we're going to have some fun today. So without further ado, I got to introduce my co-host and great friend, Johnny B. We're back and better than ever, Johnny B. Football season is upon us. I don't know, I was thinking about doing a show early Thursday before the Thursday Night Football, but I know you're a hardworking man during those hours, so this might be your one preview here before the official season gets started. Your boys ain't playing first game of the year this time because you didn't bring home the trophy, but I know you're going to be gunning for another trophy here this year. So how excited are you for the start of the NFL season?
Well, it's been a long road. Once you become a champion and you have an MVP quarterback, your expectations go through the roof. So, the O-line got beat up at the wrong time of the season. We lost. But you know what? When I think about it now, I still haven't rewatched the game. I was in attendance, but I haven't rewatched it on TV. I think long term, it's going to be good for us that we lost that game because we have a totally new offensive line. It's looking big. It's looking strong. And I think it's going to set the bar pretty high for what people are going to have to do to try to catch up to the Chiefs in the AFC. And I'm looking forward to it. I've never been hungrier, which is kind of nice to have the hunger back. Get kind of spoiled. You win the trophy. You think you're coasting and going back and getting the second one. But, I never liked losing in any sport I ever did. And I certainly didn't like losing that game to Tampa. And I'm ready to go, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I know you're ready to go. And certainly Patrick Mahomes looked ready to go in the preseason. The guy was throwing sidearm, doing his thing as he always does. Nothing he does anymore surprises anyone. But he certainly looked like him and Reed are ready to take it to another level. And that's got to be a scary thing for most of the players and fans here of the NFL. So, let's bring in our other guys here. We've got a few other guests that are going to be joining us and some others here later down the road. Some people finishing up their own fantasy drafts right now as we speak. So we're going to have a lot of different guests here tonight. So let's bring on our next guy, my guy, Joe Mandel, the football goon.
What's up?
Joey, he's a man of many names, the football goon, Joey Two Scoops. But a great friend and a fantasy football expert too. So,
stop.
Yeah, you are. You know your thing. Me, I'm always lost this time of year trying to draft. I actually did a draft on Sunday, so I feel like I have a little bit of my bearings than I normally do. But you're always ahead of the game when it comes on. Last year, you gave away fantasy tips before the draft started, and you were a part of this league, and then you ended up not doing so great in this league. So, if we talk some fantasy football here, are you going to be throwing us curveballs and giving us bad advice here? Are we going to be, we're going to have an honest discussion?
It's going to be an honest discussion, man. I mean, it's all for the love of fantasy. I mean, I know you guys know what you're doing. I'm giving you guys just a little extra tips for the back pocket. But I will tell you that this is the year to go late on quarterbacks. I'll tell you that much. I know Johnny's probably just going to grab Mahomes as soon as he can. I don't blame you. But,
I don't care if I win or lose. As long as I got Mahomes on my team, I'm happy to see his 35 points. He's going to throw 52 touchdowns this year in 16 games because he's going to obviously sit out week 17.
Yep.
But that's my prediction.
Obviously.
But, everybody makes fun of me, but, when you have an MVP quarterback on your team.
Yes, we heard you, all right.
Not to have him on your squad and see him cheat on you with another team. So, tough.
No, absolutely, man. And there's no disrespect to Mahomes there and not taking him early. It's just you can get comparable quarterbacks, in the 8th, 9th round. I was in a draft the other day in the last pick of the draft, the 16th round. I picked up Jalen Hurts from Philadelphia. I mean, this is a guy that, you know, could have a huge year. He could flake out too, but there's just so much talent. You can get guys late. So if I had to give one drop of advice to everyone in this league, it's hold off a little bit on quarterback. You want to get your running backs and wide receivers early because
that's right. Hold off on quarterbacks. Everyone listening in our league, hold off on quarterbacks.
Let's get to the real question of the day, Joe. And we saw this comment in the chat, you know, and I'd have to agree with you, Joe. You have
the prettiest eyes, like maybe in the league, dude. Mine are pretty, but yours are real pretty.
Come on now,
you got nice eyes.
Well, let's see if
you can melt a stick of butter, Greg, with your eyes.
Well, let's see if our next guest here agrees with that. My longtime friend, childhood friend. So he's seen these beautiful, dreamy blue eyes his whole life, growing up in Winfield and going to Winfield Elementary. So. You know, what do you think? Do you agree with Joe's assessment of, you know, my sexiness?
I get lost in those baby blues. I mean, we could just look back and forth at each other's eyes. You know, that's how it goes. But, you know, I was thinking about it. We've been doing this for at least me and you for 12 years on and off with like different people. But we've had a core of 4 or 5 different people, and you know, it's always competitive. Everybody knows their stuff. We're all diehard football guys. So, you know, it brings out a lot of fun, you know, this one time of the year.
100%. You know, so let's get right into it because we got the draft starting in exactly 30 minutes from now, 32 minutes
and 8 seconds.
32 minutes and 8 seconds. So, you know, I wanted to come on a little early because, you know, we're all chomping at the bit to talk a little football. You know, and fantasy football, whatever we want to talk about. But let's start out with the Bears. We're obviously Johnny B is a diehard Chiefs fan. He's made that abundantly clear.
I can give you an outsider's perspective.
Not just an outsider's. You're a Chicago local.
A similar situation.
Correct. And you're a Chicago local, and it's not as if you don't follow the team and you know, maybe sideways root for them. You know, if you care anything about me and Jake, your co-hosts on the show, and Trey, and of course Terrence, you know, guys that are new to our show. We're all Bears fans, so I hope you would root for our success just as much as we rooted for you. We wanted you to win Super Bowls. I tried to warn you last year, but you know, I wanted you to win. I was just worried about the game. So let's get into the Bears talk here for a second, because I've been getting a lot of shit on Twitter here these last 2 days talking about this hypothetical, Jimmy, and you might have missed this because what I brought up was the idea that would it be the worst thing in the world if the Bears, you know, because a lot of people are anticipating the Bears losing here week 1 against the Rams. Not saying I want that to happen. I'm going to root for the Bears week 1, but a lot of us are anticipating us to lose to the Rams. Yep. Some are even anticipating getting shellacked by the Rams. And what I hypothesized was if we do indeed get, you know, just stomped by the Rams, would you prefer the Bears to just lose week 2 to the Bengals, thus hypothetically forcing Nagy's hand to bring in Fields week 3, which to me is the earliest possible week he can come in, because I don't see him coming in week 1 or week 2. Yeah. But if they were to lose both games, I do believe Matt Nagy would pull the hand and bring in Fields. Am I off my skis? You know, and I know we're getting a little ahead of ourselves because we got to see what happens week 1. But let's say they did get beat down week 1. Am I a terrible fan for thinking about the light at the end of the Fields tunnel?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm the same way. It's like the good and the bad right now where, you know, we have this awesome draft pick and we see the potential, but we don't want to get him hurt right away, you know, or even get into these bad tendencies because he's not progressing or, you know, we're just throwing him out there. You know, I feel like we're not in a rush right now, but obviously Pace and Nagy and their job's on the line. And I don't think exactly this weekend, if we were getting our asses kicked and this was in Chicago, the boos would be coming out and, you know, that pull Dalton right away is going to happen. But I think, you know, let it play out for a week or two, you know, see how things go. You know, I just don't want to see us ruin the potential of what Fields has because we threw him out there a little too soon. You know, I get our
Do you think
offensive
it's a
line is
lack
terrible.
of the team around him being ready to give him the best scenario to come into, or that he himself, Justin Fields, being not ready to play yet with the calls and the audibles and the line of scrimmage and getting the plays in?
It's a mix of both. You know, like I saw someone talking about, you know, like how much Russell Wilson got sacked last year, you know, about 50 times, you know, Deshaun Watson. But these guys still are throwing up tons of TDs, being, you know, making stuff happen. So we could hope that Fields is going to do something like that. But at the same time, you know, that one hit that he took in the preseason right under the jaw just, you know, makes you hold your breath. And, you know, you don't want to see like Joe Burrow, you know, get a bad hit, his ACL's gone, you know. So now we're looking at 2-3 years now for Fields, and then we're back in this, well, do we re-sign him because he's under rookie contract? He hasn't really performed yet. So, you know,
you're okay with the wait and see.
Exactly.
You know, I can appreciate it and understand it.
We've waited so long for a decent quarterback. I'm okay to wait like 2-3 weeks. You know, I'm okay with that. We've waited 35 years, you know, born in 85. We're still waiting for a pair.
That's where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to you, Johnny B, because you were the one that predicted he would start week 1. You and Chubbs were steadfast in this opinion, and now we know that it's not going to happen. So Johnny B, who gets most predictions correct, got this one wrong.
Well, first of all, the game hasn't been played yet, so let's not.
He's not giving up on it.
Here's my point: is that Justin Fields' situation is kind of similar to the Alex Smith Mahomes thing, but a little bit different as well. Alex Smith was already, you know, knew the playbook. He was very successful. A lot of people thought Mahomes was going to take over Alex Smith during his rookie year, but Alex Smith had a career year. But he had been there many years in the Andy Reid system and made an all-pro and all that stuff, so it didn't happen. Here's my point, is Justin Fields and Andy Dalton got to the Bears the same year. Obviously, they didn't think they were getting Fields in the draft. It just fell that way. That's why they signed Dalton. And maybe a promise was made that he was going to be the guy. I don't know that. But, I mean, Andy Dalton, yeah, he's a veteran quarterback. He's a pro's pro. I get all that. But you got to put your athlete on the field. I don't see what the difference is between waiting 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You know, what's the difference? Either you're going to sit him most of the year and let him learn unless an injury happens, or why not play him week 1? And let's see what happens. You put the best athlete on.
And I was hesitant
things with Justin Fields that you can't do with Andy Dalton, roll in the pocket, etc. I mean, I just don't get it. What do we?
Johnny B, the discussions we had this offseason, I was hesitant with this because I wanted to see what he had first at camp and preseason. But from what I saw a guy that had to play with the second team. He never got any first team reps. He got like 6, and none of them, in my opinion, count. They were very as limited first team reps as you're ever going to get for a rookie star quarterback, the caliber of Justin Fields. He played with predominantly the second team, all of practice, at camp, and in the preseason games. And so it's hard to completely judge, because I heard Jeff Dickerson on ESPN 1000 say, well, he didn't blow us away at training camp. Well, Andy Dalton's playing with the first team. Justin Fields never had an opportunity to throw to Darnell Mooney, throw to Allen Robinson, Cole Kmet, David Montgomery in his backfield. And what he did do with the second team is made guys like John Vea Johnson and Rodney Adams look like stars who ended up making the practice squad. They have Justin Fields to thank for that. And then the way he handled himself and carried himself in these preseason games. Yes, Jimmy, I agree. He got his head taken off in that second half of the Bills game, albeit with offensive linemen that are no longer on this team. So get him with the offensive line that's playing as starters, which he never got to play behind. And I just never understood this process that Matt Nagy's gone through, because eventually Justin Fields is going to come in and hasn't worked with any of these guys. So he's already tying one hand behind his back.
It's a little weird in general that happened, shook out like that, just in general, because what if Aaron Donald gets a hold of Andy Dalton week 1 and he's out?
And no chemistry with these guys. So you're setting him up for failure right out the gate in that regard. I'm sure Justin Fields, if he's as dynamic as we all believe him to be, he'll figure it out. But, man, he deserved a few snaps. And I just think that wasn't the right approach from Matt Nagy. But he's the head coach, and I'm a fan in the stands. And you know what they say, if you listen to the fans in the stands, one day you'll become one. So, you know, Matt Nagy's a professional, and it is what it is. I'm going to let it play out and critique it as it goes. Joey, how are you feeling about this? You know, we've been, you know, obviously the work you do over at Bears Barroom, you guys have been talking about this a lot. You know, where is your stance when it comes to this?
Well, personally, you know, I think it's only a matter of time before Fields is out there, really.
Sure.
And as we've talked about, that gauntlet to start the season is pretty tough, going against some tough defenses. I mean, you get to go against Aaron Donald on Sunday night. And, you know, I think they're probably going to start 0-3. And I think you're right, Greg. I think you'll see him come in and probably start the rest of the way, maybe be like a little fire starter for this team.
You don't believe, though, if they were to go 0-2, that Nagy wouldn't pull the trigger for week 3?
Nope. I think it would be after week 3. And the reason being is that just from watching Matt Nagy over the years, he doesn't ever do what you think would be acceptable for an actual person to do in real life. So why would he why would he put Justin Fields in after they go 0-2? He's like, no, we're gonna give Andy one more shot. We're gonna let him go for the first win in week 3. And then when he goes 0-3, it's like, okay, we're on to Justin. So that's what I think is gonna happen.
Now, Johnny B, because you've been so steadfast in Justin Fields being the best for the Bears, but you also came at me on Twitter today about my take about potentially, I'm not saying I'm rooting against them week 1, but if they get trounced week 1 against the Rams and Dalton looks as bad as Foles did last year or Glennon did in 2017, and I know there's some fans that cringe at those comparisons, but we're just talking about veteran quarterbacks that simply don't cut it at the end of the day. If Dalton is getting shellacked and throwing turnovers and they get beat down week 1 and it's an embarrassment of a game on Sunday Night Football against the Rams, you know, do you think I'm off my skis for just thinking, because I disagree with Joe. I think if it goes as badly as it might go Sunday against the Rams, that they lose again to the Bengals, he's going to give him his one more shot against the Bengals. But I think at that point, he will have the itchy trigger finger and go to Fields week 3. I know it's on the road.
I hope you're right.
Well, it's on the road against Cleveland. That would be the only caveat. But am I off my skis? I'm not saying I'm rooting against them week 1. There's some fans like Danny Parkins, you know, is getting beat up on Twitter right now for saying he's going to root against them until Fields comes in. That might be going a bit too far. But do you think I'm off my skis in saying that, hey, if they get beat down embarrassingly week 1, that I'd rather just pull the Band-Aid, lose again week 2, bam, get Justin Fields in there for the last 15 weeks of the season? Am I a terrible fan for suggesting such a scenario?
I mean, I have never even heard in the history of my life what you are talking about. Like, when I saw that you were actually like wishing them to kind of lose, and you know, you play to win the game, man. Herm Edwards said it best. That's your squad. Those are your boys. These are professional athletes. You're trying to build something. Everything that you do every snap leads up to that.
But Johnny B, what about losing the locker room?
Team. You got banners, you got jerseys, you got all the shit hanging up in your man cave. How on earth can you root against your team and hope to lose when the season is just starting?
I understand.
I went through a 2-14 season, bro. I never rooted against.
I understand. It's a conundrum. But what about all the sentiments when they say, you know, if the players in the locker room know who the guy that's best for the job, and let's say they get shellacked week 1 and Dalton's thrown. Well, and I'm just saying they already like Justin Fields more. I know this. They don't have to say it. I know it. Let's say Dalton gets shellacked week 1. You're telling me they're human beings. You're telling me in the locker room they're not sitting there like, man, we need Fields out there. You're sitting there saying they need Fields out there. But then you're also saying, no, I still will root for Dalton to win, which would then prolong the inevitable and let Dalton.
Bro, obviously you want Fields to play. I went on this show.
But you don't think players would too at that point?
Well, let's the hypothetical. What if all these other quarterbacks that are starting that don't have, you know, a high quality, you know, professional quarterback that's proven that he can win some games in the NFL like Andy Dalton? Let's say, you know, Mac Jones goes out and he doesn't look so good, and Trevor Lawrence and all these guys that are kind of, you know, offensive line questionable. What happens if they don't look so good? And what happens if, you know, it doesn't go the way they think it is? You know, Tua, they waited for Tua for 4 weeks. To be honest, you know, he wasn't lighting my fire last year either. You know, I mean, yeah, he kept them in games, but they had a pretty good defense. It was kind of boring football, to be honest. Even
and he got taken out a few times. They went
what
back to
happens if the Bears go 2-1 or 1-2? The games are close because the Bears defense is hopefully, going to step up, get some more quarterback pressures and sacks this year. What happens if they go 2-1 and 1-2? Andy Dalton performs well, and what happens then? If the games are close, like what if they lose to the Rams? Like something, a running back fumbles and they lose by 3, and Andy Dalton plays.
Unless Andy Dalton is playing winning football, above 500 football, to me, it's a waste of time to play him. Justin Fields is the future of your franchise.
Play him today.
Right, and you want him playing right now, so do I. He's not. So to me, the faster he gets in, the better it is for the Bears. But I can understand a fan's point of view like Jimmy's that's saying you rush him in, you could ruin his developmental process. Let's bring in our next guy here. He's a good friend of mine. He's a sponsor to this show. He's in the dark room. This is like some what movie am I thinking of? Who's the
Inspector Gadget stuff?
Yeah,
man.
Inspector Gadget.
The
bad guy.
Villain in G.I. Joe.
See you,
Dr.
Aaron.
Claw, baby.
Your lighting, we cannot see your beautiful smiling face. We got Aaron from the Collector's Cave on it. You're looking, you know what I mean? You're like kind of like a silhouette. Like
well, I'm in the garage. I'm watching the Sox game. I'm watching you guys up on the Twitch stream. So I got a little bit of everything going on.
Okay, well, we got Aaron from the Collector's Cave. For those of you that don't know, the Collector's Cave is a sponsor to this show. They do a lot of great things. If you visit www.thecollectorcave.com, you can find a bunch of great Chicago sports memorabilia and sports memorabilia, nationwide for all your favorite teams. They do a lot of public autograph signings, mainly in the Chicagoland area, but keep on the lookout for things, all over the map. And Aaron, before we get into your Bears opinions here, and we'll try to move it along as we're 15 minutes away from our fantasy draft officially starting, which we can continue to bullshit once the wheels get moving. But why don't you tell the listeners and the viewers some of the upcoming signings that the Collector's Cave has coming up?
Sure, put me on the spot, but the big one coming up is the 18th. We've got Andre Dawson out at Indiana Beach, which is a big one for us. Sold a bunch of tickets. Going to be a great time. But Andre's always. I'm a Sox fan, and I still want to meet Andre. Andre's he's a classic, right?
Right.
So we got Andre Dawson coming, and then. In conjunction with our friends here at Brags in the Stands, we've got Miguel Montero and Aramis Ramirez coming to Catch 22 on October 9th. So that's going to be a big one for us. Obviously, Aram's a big, he's still a big dude. The dude still looks like he can play.
Yeah, I'm
and then
a big
you got
time Aramis Ramirez fan.
Yeah, you got Miggy who had a clutch couple hits throughout the 2016 campaign for the Cubs. So
one of the greatest home runs in Cubs history. The Grand Slam. Game one of the NLCS. So really excited to be a part of those signings and doing live shows. We'll see if we can ever get one where the Wi-Fi works good enough for me so the shows don't go completely off the rails. But we try our best, and eventually we'll strive for 100%, and always striving for perfection at the Collector's Cave. And I really appreciate you, bringing me on board with your team and everything you guys are doing. So, Aaron, why don't you, jump right into this conversation? What are your thoughts with this whole Justin Fields situation? How excited are you for the Bears season? And am I completely off my skis hoping that Justin Fields gets in sooner rather than later?
I think as a Bears fan, we yearn for that quarterback, right? So
right.
We've been waiting for one for my lifetime. And, it was Cade McNown, then it was Mitch Trubisky, and now you got Justin Fields. And I think we want it, right? We want it. Our friends to the north there have had the most ridiculous run of quarterbacks ever, and they may have another one in the midst. And I think we just want the quarterback, right? I think we have the quarterback. The problem is we don't have the cast the quarterback. So my opinion, and Greg, I disagree with you in this instance, is, is Nagy the right guy? Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. We don't really know. They got it wrong with Mitch, but I don't know if that was so much a Nagy thing as it was a, pace, right? But, you look at even in Kansas City, Johnny, with the Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes thing. I mean, they had an MVP sitting on their bench for 16 weeks, right?
That's right. 15 weeks.
I don't think you throw the guy to the wolves. And I mean that because the Bears offensive line this year is garbage. It's going to be garbage all year. Is he going to make some plays with his feet? Of course he is. He's an athlete, right? He's a better athlete than Andy Dalton. He's a better athlete than Mitch Trubisky ever was. Does it buy Nagy another year? Probably. But, am I in a rush to see Justin Fields? As a fan, sure, right? As a football connoisseur, man, you got to put some pieces around him. Darnell Mooney is not the answer. I mean, I hope he has another great year. Allen Robinson's a solid piece, but they have some young talent they can develop around, but it's just that. It's young talent. And young talent in the NFL is tough. So do you want to see the guy be the quarterback for the next 15 years, 10 years, or the next 2 years? And that's what you're putting them out against, right? I mean, your defense can carry you so far, but you're putting them – you really are throwing them out to the wolves, that offensive line. That's my opinion.
Hey, no, I respect it. I have no qualms with a differentiating opinion. I had some people real salty balls with my wildish opinions on Twitter, but at the end of the day, we're all fans and we all want the same thing, and that's the Bears to win a Super Bowl. As my guy Will, who I was just about to bring on, I know he was chomping at the bit in the background, went hopping off. He gets very impatient. So if he comes back in, we'll let him fire away at me and yell at me, because I know he was one of the. Here he is. He's struggling, I think, with his Wi-Fi, and now he's sideways. Oh, there he is. There's Will with his very angry look. He's looking at me with real disappointment because of my bad Bears takes. He's got his head up. Can you hear us, Will? How are you today?
Yeah, I can hear you guys all well and perfect. I'm just disappointed.
You're not mad. You're just disappointed.
I mean, it's just honestly, like, are you serious? Are
in
you
what
guys
regards?
serious?
I'm
wearing my black
bucket hat. I see it. Well, that's great. So what are you asking me? Am I serious?
Bucket of blood over here, man. New Orleans, I got it. It's just nonsense. You guys just cannot be real. I just completely. And you look, I'm a Marine Corps, right? I wear this because Marine Corps, Simplify, right. Baby. 180, San Diego. So now, like, I'm listening to your boy JB, right?
Right.
He was talking about Kansas City. You can never compare the situations with Kansas City with Chicago.
Well, I said it was different.
No, but it's not even in the same ballpark. It
right.
shouldn't even brought up.
So what do you suggest then, Will? Because if you're saying we're all
because Nagy is incompetent. He cannot coach a team. Look, I have my boy right here. I have a signature right here. A signature of Papa's and
Papa Bear.
The best of it, Papa Bear, and my boy Ditka. That he gave this to myself. He sold that to me.
But what do you want us to do?
These guys are literally because this is absurd. Absurd. It's just completely nonsense.
What do
you guys are making no sense. You guys are making nonsense. And I'm a Bears fan, and I'm tired of putting up birthday parties, and I was just talking to my wife.
If we toss Fields out there and he gets blindsided and blows out his ACL in the first week, and then we got to sit back and then worry about the health and future of Justin Fields, you're cool with that?
See, but Jimmy, I don't even think Will is advocating Field starting. He's just so vehemently.
You see,
against...
like Bears fans go
what
to
he's
the.
saying.
Yeah.
Will, that's what we want to get to.
Who's
is
it?
your
I'm not saying who's the guy that said
but
that.
But listen, Will. Let me set it up because they're confused as far as the point you're trying to make. Because we understand that you may have different opinion of what we've all said here. But what you're trying to convey is that you don't trust Nagy, you don't trust Pace, you don't trust McCaskey, you don't trust Ted Phillips. These are the things you've told me many times on Twitter. But that's fine. They're not going
for many years too, Braggs.
Well,
for many years,
they're not going anywhere. So what do you want us to do? I mean, there's nothing we can do about those guys. They're here.
So then you want to settle for mediocrity?
We have no control over whether or not they're going to stay.
Yes, we do have control over it. That's the problem. We do.
We've been settling for mediocrity for like 25 years.
25 years. You're exactly right. 25 years.
You want me to go brick around Matt Nagy's door so he can't leave his house on Sunday?
You know what? This is what I love. JB, God bless you, brother. You cheer for Kansas City, man. That team.
2-14, brother. 2-14.
I love it. God bless you, brother. God bless you. But JB comes in here and tells us, like, just trust. Like, Matt Nagy is nothing. We're talking about one of the best coaches ever in the NFL with Andy Reid. The dude really is one of the greatest coaches ever, right? So
no doubt.
Okay, so you know what? Sometimes you cannot compare yourself to greatness like that, right? So you can try to copy that system or try to be something that you are, right? Like, for example, look at what is dude doing for look at that. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
Okay. Look what this Frank Wright doing for the Colts and the 49ers and so on, right? Like, it's an embarrassment that the third largest city in the world, I mean, in the USA, and one of the best cities in the world, cannot have a good football team and everything in sports. Like, it's been sucked. Like, Green Bay just won. Wisconsin just won a championship with the damn Bucks. All right.
Hey,
I mean,
right.
Point taken,
like,
Will.
it's
I
embarrassing.
I understand
It's
what
embarrassing.
You're saying.
Like, as a
Bears,
city,
we all want better as Bears.
And it's
we're all
even
with
look.
you in this.
And I don't want to bring politics in it. It's even into politics. We're horrible. We're letting people rob in our streets and do everything. It's horrible. We are trying to defund the police.
Right.
I don't want to bring this. Okay, hold on. But it's just,
I know you're
everything
excited. Listen, I know
My
you're excited.
God.
We are 5 minutes away from our last second league fantasy
I
draft
love this
starting.
guy, man. How can we get
Will is hey, I love Will. I told him he could come on. He's a loyal viewer to mine and Trey Tune's show.
for years, too.
Trey's in the chat. His internet went out, so that's probably
his Wi-Fi died.
Wi-Fi died, but Trey Tunes.
Hey,
he'll
Greg,
tell
can I propose something real quick?
What's that?
So back when the Bears drafted McNown, right? They had this rule, right, where McNown would get every third series.
That's right. We talked about this with Sylvie on Sunday.
Is that true?
Yes, he would, regardless of the outcome of the first two series, Cade McNown would get every third series, right? Isn't that the dumbest thing you ever heard in your life?
Well, hey, I predicted that Matt Nagy. I don't think he's going to give him a whole series, but I do believe he's going to give Justin Fields snaps on Sundays. But let's get it on the tracks here because we've got some new guests joining us. Will, you can jump back in, but you got to wait your turn because we're 4 minutes away from starting our draft. And our guy Eric has now joined the chat as well. He just
there he is.
One of his fantasy drafts. How'd you do on your last one, Eric? Before we get rolling on ours,
we'll see. I had the 7th pick in a 12-teamer.
Okay.
Started with Devontae.
All right. Well, how we doing tonight, Eric? You got any pleasantries for us before we
It's
get
going to be
started?
the Brady Bunch. I can't wait. It's going to be the Brady Bunch and 2 more people.
Yes.
I know, right?
This is how it'll look. This is how it'll
And
look,
I'm in
fellas.
the middle, so am I? I'm Alice, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're Alice if you're in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was Alice's boyfriend's name?
It was the butcher. What the hell was his name?
Yeah, what was his name?
That'd be
My
Sam.
wife would know.
That'd be Sam.
Sam, that's it.
Yeah, Sam. Whoever said that, that's it. I think.
My wife gave me the download on that one real quick.
All right. Well, she gets the points.
So Joe,
That's
you
right.
wanted, you're in the private chat, and you said bring it back to you for talking about value here in this fantasy draft for Justin Fields. And I did see in different fantasy leagues, whether it be on NFL.com or ESPN, Andy Dalton was picked at like a 0.0001 percentile. How many teams you think are taking Justin Fields in this year's fantasy draft?
He's been drafted at every single draft that I've done. I've done about 10 drafts so far, and Justin Fields has been taken in every league. And that's to me, that's a good thing. I mean, this is a kid who's going to play at some point this season. And when he comes in, he's going to be a fantasy juggernaut, not just because of passing. The kid uses his legs. So he's going to rush it. He's going to throw it. He's going to get it done. His average draft position in ESPN leagues is about 149th in the draft. So you're looking about 14th round if you're in a 10 team, end of the 10th into the 11th if you're in a 12-man league. But this is a kid that's being drafted as a late round flyer, and you can get a lot of value out of him. So I have no problem grabbing him as a backup and kind of waiting and seeing. I wouldn't take him before. I probably wouldn't personally take him before the 10th round. But if you want to get your guy, go ahead and get him. But it is a great value, especially for someone you can get super late in drafts. So Justin Fields, like I said, average draft position about 149th in ESPN leagues, and for leagues that you get rushing yards and rushing touchdowns, his value obviously will be higher.
All right,
that sounded like an ESPN worthy analysis, right?
He's the man. He's the fantasy football goon.
Well,
we didn't
thank
get
you,
into
sir.
too much
Appreciate
fantasy talk this year, and that's probably a good thing for Joe. He doesn't have to give up all his secrets. He's going to be in our league as Will's internet is jumping in and out, and we'll just keep bringing him back in and out as he struggles through this. And, our league is about to start here in about 1 minute. So, we can talk about whatever as the draft's going on. This is a very free-flowing show. There will be no
Brass, can we
structure to
talk
this.
about the spooning? How is that? If I lose, how is it gonna be? Like, is it gonna be like? Do I have to?
I'm the big spoon. That's all I know.
Am I going to be facing forward, or are you gonna be?
I'm the big spoon. All right.
Hey, I got a question for Johnny B.
Yeah.
Johnny B. Josh Fields, DraftKings 7.5 to 1 to win NFC Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I actually got it a little bit higher than that, to be honest. I don't know why it dropped a little bit, but yeah, you know what? I'm still think he's going to get in there, and he just needs to play about 2/3 of the season, in my opinion. For him to
the best day of the year. Draft day.
I don't know if it's going to be one of my official picks. It was a pick that we were talking about during one of the shows for your company. When I think it was the Dan Hampton one, we were talking about it a little bit in New Buffalo. But I do like it. I mean, I still think he's going to get in there. I think a promise was made to Andy Dalton. Let's be realistic that he was going to be the guy. So it looks like he's going to be the guy. I fully expect to see Justin Fields get in for a couple of plays on Sunday night. I'm still going to think he's going to get in for a few plays, whether it's at the 5-yard line, the red zone, whatever. But I got it.
Is he the guy for a quarter or a half or a season, right?
Yeah. That's it.
I know you're the consummate gambling guy, so I had to ask you.
All right. Well, our draft is underway. So Christian McCaffrey was taken with the number 1 pick in our draft. Eric is sitting at the bottom, very quiet like a fox, taking RB1.
I got the
running backs.
Breaking news. Eloy just went down.
Eloy just went yard. That's great, Eric.
That's great. Went down, Greg.
Oh, he went down. Oh, shit. Well, our guy Joe Mandel over here, he does a podcast called the South Burbs Hitmen. Great show on Bears Barroom, or Bears, the Barroom Network, excuse me, formerly known as Bears Barroom. And
exactly.
And I'm sure that'll be a hot topic of discussion. I hope he's okay. I wish no injuries on anyone, including Andy Dalton. So 3 running backs taken off the board very quickly here as the last second league fantasy draft is underway. Now 4 running backs, and the running backs are quickly falling off the board here as we are moving along. No surprise, I did a draft on Sunday, and it was like 7 straight running backs, although here comes Jake.
There's a little surprise.
Jake the Snake taking a wide receiver at 5, a big-time surprise, avoiding Ezekiel Elliott in that trap of a pick. Joe, your thoughts?
That's tough, man. I have a hard time. I love Devontae. I just have a hard time passing up on some of these killer running backs still on the board.
Sure.
I'm not going to name any specific names.
Name them.
All right, I'll name them. Sure. Well, don't twist my leg.
I'm not in this, so I can name them off if you'd rather me do it.
Yes, yes, you are unbiased, and you have no dog in this fight. So feel free to fire away, Aaron.
I'm not gonna ruin it. I'm not gonna ruin everybody's time.
No,
there's a surprise pick, but it's a fantastic pick. Najee Harris is going to be Christian McCaffrey light this year for the Steelers. I love that pick at 6. It's a ballsy pick, but it's a great pick.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be back around.
First tight end comes off the board at 7. Our guy Zelms, Poe Pimpin taken, and now Nick Chubb has come off the board here. So actually some pretty good running back value here at all the way at 9. Looks like I'm going to have to – man, this is a tough one. Am I going to fall for the Ezekiel Elliott?
No, it's not.
I don't think I want to take Saquon. I don't think I want to take Saquon. I'll tell you that. Do I really want to fall for the Ezekiel Elliott trap once again?
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Man,
yes, you do.
I mean, I had Barkley as my first pick last year, so that didn't pan out too well. So I had to pass on him.
There you go. It's a smart move, Greg.
It's too far down in the hole for me to avoid.
It's a safe move. I like it. I think Saquon comes back and runs for 1,500 yards this year.
And our guy
Tyreek off the board.
That's right, baby.
Yeah, you know
the cheetah.
Well, play action is going to be better this year with the offensive line. We haven't really had a chance to work play action because nobody believed we were running, but I think we're going to run a lot more, and I think Tyreek's going to have a lot of long touchdowns this year.
Am I on the
action?
So did you take two players already?
Yeah, dude. I took Aaron Jones and Tyreek Hill.
Well, I'm going to break your heart here. I think I am.
Wow.
Man, this is a tough one. I can't believe I'm going to take 2 guys that I really didn't want to take, but it'd be crazy of me not to take them. I'm going with Saquon. I'm going with Saquon.
Second round value, man. It's
good.
Value.
Yeah, getting him in the second round. I didn't want to take him in the first, although I had a late pick. I didn't hear great things from Albert Breer earlier today, saying he didn't believe that Saquon would be at 100% until like a month into the season. But you know, it's a long season, and championships are won in December, not in September. So I had to go with it. I almost took our guy JB's favorite dude. Almost.
I thought you were gonna do it, man.
I was this close.
My favorite dude is Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I bet. So while we're moving it along, our guy Trey Tunes joined the show.
All right.
Trey, you replaced our guy. You replaced Will. You replaced Will for Trey, and I think that's a fair trade. No more Will. No more Will.
I like that. I don't know what he was saying, what his plan was, but I did like it.
You know, you can really go down the Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole with Will, and
you guys are crazy. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. What you all are thinking.
You'll end up going 5 hours round and round with him, and by the end of it, your head will be spinning and your shirt will be off, and you'll want to pass out.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, welcome to my world, fellas. I like this. I go through this every day. when he calls in and his crazy takes and like he's a fan that just had his heart broken and he has all these negative takes, so you won't be hurt anymore. That's all that is.
So, what do you guys think here? We've got Austin Eckler, Stephon Diggs, DK Metcalf, Antonio Gibson by our guy Snake, and Jonathan Taylor all coming off the board here. Any thoughts on any of those particular players?
I'll tell you, Greg. Austin Eckler for me is going to be probably a top 5 running back this year. I was really hoping he'd come back to me, but didn't. I love that pick.
I think Gibson's going to have a solid year as well. I think with the defense, and they're going to do a lot of ball control. The defense is playing well in Washington. So,
who's going to throw him the ball? Fitzmagic?
Fitzmagic can sling it, man. You know he can.
Yeah, he can sling it all right.
Not saying you're gonna win.
Brian Sanchez is asking for Will to get to the point. Well, Brian, good luck. If you're just meeting Will for the first time, that's a tough one to do. To get to the point. But we love him nonetheless. His internet has been coming in and out, so I guess he finally gave up on that battle, which is a blessing for all of us.
I like that James Robinson pick.
Thank you, man. I got sniped right before I went, so I was like, I still think Robinson's going to be a dog. He really is.
Yeah.
What happened to James Robinson was Travis Etienne going down. Now he is the man.
Yeah, there's no doubts about that at all. Puts me back on the clock. I got a bunch of big dogs to choose from here. I'm gonna go with the guy that I think is gonna have
somebody behind you.
Oh, there he is. He's joined us once again. I didn't see him down there.
You guys are talking smack about me. Keep calling guys. Oh me.
Welcome back.
Sorry, boys. I was fighting with the internet right now. You know what I'm saying? But come on, dude. We have. Let me say hi to my boy Trey Tunes. We had a beautiful show today earlier in the afternoon.
Yeah, believe it or not, right?
But I'm talking to JB, specifically to JV.
JV.
Johnny B, right?
I never played.
Johnny B. How you doing, Johnny B? Nice to meet you, brother. How are you? Like you're preying on people's life over here, man. We Bears fans. I have nothing. It's like kind of like hyenas. We're like the Bears fans like hyenas. We're just waiting for you to leave some meat on the side so we can eat.
I was the only one that said I missed you when you left.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah. I've
been where all Bears fans are. I've been there. Before Andy Reid, before Mahomes, I've been there. I went through 2-14. I feel your pain.
It's like we've been there and we stayed there and we're still here. That's our problem. It's like we're all too familiar with. Well, the only thing we're not familiar with is having a decent quarterback. I've never been excited about a quarterback. So.
I want to introduce myself to everybody else too. Like I know JB, you're a cool one. You're one cool dude, man. I really like you a lot. I think we can down a bottle of bourbon easy. I can tell that.
Nice.
How many teams are in this league?
10-team league.
Okay, I'm about to say. I'm like, wait, this is some.
How many are in the league?
Who'd you take? George Kittle?
Who's hold on, let me Brad, who's I want to introduce myself to everybody. I want to make sure I
bet you do. I'm on the clock right now.
Who's the guy? Like I see Trey Tunes, I see you on top.
Oh,
who's the next dude on top? You got glasses on?
Me?
And Bears hat. Yeah.
Yeah,
name, brother?
yeah, Joe Mandel. Joe Mandel, man. Joe, nice to meet you.
Joe Man, dude, you have a nice voice, dude. Damn. Yeah, that's a radio
Thanks,
voice.
man. I
brother.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I podcast.
Well, he's my former co-host, Will. You know, before Brags in the Stands, it used to be called Shy Fans in the Stands. And me and Joe did a whole year of some great podcasting. And now he does his Sox podcast called South Burbs Hitman. He's got Fantasy Football Goon, Barfly Tailgate.
Nice.
They do a lot of good stuff at the Barroom Network. You got to check it out.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Yeah, yeah.
My mom always told me I had a face made for radio. So it's
there you go, baby.
Darren Walker off the board. Darren Waller. Darren Waller off the board. That's
Waller the baller.
Your boy right here, Darren Waller.
Yeah.
Kelsey Jr.
It's like that's a name I just didn't want to say because you know how sometimes the chat can influence the draft picks and stuff. So,
Johnny, did I break your heart taking Patrick Mahomes?
No, dude. Like whatever. I get to see him play every week at Arrowhead.
Like he's on your fantasy team. He's on his actual team.
Normally, Johnny takes Patrick Mahomes in the first round every year.
Very close to my seats in the 7th row on Sunday. I'll tell him you said what's up in your draft.
Yeah, please do. I'm happy to be on your side. I'll be rooting for you all year long now.
There you go. That'll be nice.
I got Patrick Mahomes in one of my other leagues too.
Who's the gentleman under you right now with the white shirt and the hat?
That is my guy, Jimmy James. We went to elementary school together.
Jimmy James.
All right.
Jimmy James and the Blue Flames.
Can I call you JJ
Greg.
or no?
Yeah. Did you graduate, Greg?
All right.
Did I graduate?
That's cool.
Yeah.
High school? High school or elementary school?
See, I went to high school with them, but then I went on to college. Greg, stay back.
I barely made it through any of them. Middle school, high school, elementary school. When they say it takes a village to raise a kid, I embodied that. So.
like Braggs was too busy in the stands. That's where he got his name.
No, Trey and I, like, it's funny that we grew up around the same neighborhood, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I went to Roosevelt High School in Chicago. You know what I mean? They had metal detectors when I went into school.
Yep.
So, you know, nothing fun, dude. You know, it was just a hood, man. So.
And now, and you know, now you got the real guns, you know.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm surprised you have a shirt on right now, to be honest.
Dude,
right, a long sleeve shirt. Long sleeve.
How do you even get those sleeves down?
Right. Right. He told me he wanted a medium. I'm like, how are you going to get that thing on? It goes,
It's a medium. Trey, it's a medium.
It's a medium, right.
Yeah, Boston, you guys. That's why I love you guys. Boston Balls is awesome. Now, like, who's it? I mean, I know I seen you because you were talking. I seen you. You were so optimistic about the Bears. Like it made me want to send you roses to you. Yeah, like the guy was like it made me want to send you roses to you. You know, like, oh my God, you're like so, like you sound
like
the
quarterback get killed.
What's your name, my brother? What's your name?
I'm Aaron.
Aaron. Nice to meet you, Aaron.
Nice to meet you too, bud.
Why are you so in love with the Bears?
Man.
You look. I am in love, but you're like head over heels, dude. You're like.
He has a memorabilia company of sports, and the Bears, of course, he has to be involved.
Look at my back, dude. You know how much that picture costs there, you know, and everything. I own some memorabilia, bro, but it just, man. But the way that it doesn't matter that. The money or anything, the way that you spoke about the Bears.
Well, you just had
like Aaron was great. I thought his feedback was phenomenal. He's got a great voice for podcast and radio.
Yeah, it's like he was walking into a Sluggers and talking to a blonde girl, and you're trying to score that.
Me and Trey are just sitting back and letting you guys deal with him tonight because we got to deal with him every other day of the week.
Hey, I will say this about Will. It's the first time I've heard Braggs not have anything to say.
Because between the two of us, you will never get a word in edgewise, and this show could seriously go for 7 hours.
You know what?
Trey
Braggs knows it. We go at it. We go at it in Twitter. We go at it against each other so much that he's like, okay, I'm just gonna let Will.
I just sit back and observe, take
just
notes.
like Trey too.
It's like both of you guys go, especially what was that one time you got both of y'all took your shirts off, and I'm
my god,
I'm like, what is going on?
Oh, Pete sniping Kyle Pitts.
Did you guys watch any of you guys? And I'm like one more guy that I think he hates my guts. The ball guy, he just wants to kick my ass right now.
No, he's locked in. Eric, all of us in this league.
Who's this son of a bitch under me?
Yeah, Aaron looks like he wants to kick my ass.
Whoa.
I can't get a word in, so I might as well just sit here quietly.
Hang on, we got to talk for a second about Michael Thomas being drafted right now.
Wow,
this is a guy that he can't shake the injuries. It's tough for me to take him this early.
Snake has always got something up his sleeve. So what's his angle here, Joe?
See, I'm not Connie Pitt.
He plays in New Orleans, right? Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, Joe, what does Snake have up his sleeve here with this pick of Michael Thomas?
He's taken a massive gamble that I'm not willing to take personally. It's just he fought the injury all year last year. He's in the doghouse with Sean Payton as of last year. He's not fully healthy yet. It's a little scary for me personally at this point. But if it plays off, he'll look like a genius.
What do you think about
What'd you say, Trey?
So what do you think about that Pitts pick? I like that pick.
I love it. I think he's going to be a target machine. I will say I love the Pitts pick, but there are other tight ends that I prefer over Pitts. There's some solid ones on the board. I'll leave it at that. It's very deep.
Which ones, Joe? I'm on the clock, you asshole.
I'm on the clock, you asshole.
Jimmy Graham is looking really good this year.
Yeah, I bet he is. I saw him at camp.
Did you see Horsted in that third preseason?
Jasper.
I'm not even in this league, and I'm eyeballing picks. That's when you know you love the game.
Oh boy.
No, every position.
Especially PPR.
I'm taking a sabbatical this year, playing fantasy league. I won my leagues last year twice. I'm a league champion.
There you go. With the subtle flex, I like
this
time. Maybe they could add me and Will in last minute to make it 12 teams.
Right?
Late in the draft.
So let me see who is this? You got Teal. Oh man,
I've watched Braggs draft twice and wasn't invited to either league.
Well, the other league's Trey's league, so you can blame this guy for that one. And then this league,
I had 12 teams.
Now listen, this league, this is a tough league to get in because
you got 2 open spots.
No, there's only 10 spots in this league, and everyone rolls over each year. A couple years we've had one person maybe come out and a new person come in. But the spots are tight, are airtight now, and I don't think it's going to change up anytime soon with the 10 we have.
You put me on that waiting list, Braggs.
All right.
Well, we can make a new league, but I used to only do 1 league a year. This is the first year of my life I'm doing 2 leagues.
Really? JB sounds a little quiet right now. He hasn't been talking a lot.
Well, Eric's the one that
I figured I would give some of the other people like Eric a chance.
Yeah, Eric really wants to
glazed look on his eye watching the board.
I know. He was so upset. I can tell his eyes. I'm like, I thought you were bold, but you're not even bold, man.
Eloy. He looks stressed out about Eloy. He's got the Sox game going on over his shoulder.
Right, with the ball.
Greg, every time I switch tabs, it kicks me out of the draft room, so I got to stay in there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I got multiple laptops going, so
that's what I have here.
Not all of us in the studio. So.
Yeah. Well,
not all of us have Bragg's money.
When you get big time sponsors like the Collector's Cave, you get badass studios like you see before.
And you complain about me, Braggsy.
Well, we need Will to be a sponsor too. We're sponsored by somebody that does therapy for Bears fans.
USA, baby, USA.
I don't know about that, Trey, because when I talk to Will, anytime I talk to Will for an extended period of time, I feel like I need to go to therapy after.
There you go. Yeah.
Because you guys are so like. How many of us besides JP are Bears fans here? Everybody Bears fans here?
Yes. Everybody but JP.
Everyone Bears fans, right?
But JP. Bears. I root for the Bears.
Dude, it just like wouldn't like it's stupid like how we support this franchise, and it's supposed to be better. We're not supposed to cheer for mediocrity. You understand me? Like the Chicago is one of the best cities in the world. It's not just the third largest city in the United States of America,
but it's the city, the world, Craig.
It is. I travel overseas. I love Chicago. Is one of the best, and it's treated like it's just our football team sucks. It's just like free money for these people to come in there and
real quick. Will, I'm gonna chime in for a hot second. Greg had asked me my opinion on tight ends a little while ago. I can tip my hat now because I'm gonna go with a tight end.
All right.
There's a ton of great tight ends on the board. I'm gonna take the number 3 targeted tight end in fantasy last year. A guy that's a massive bargain here in Logan Thomas. This is a guy that was the number 3 fantasy tight end last year, somehow falling to the bottom of boards into the 8th round. So I'm going to take that all day.
I had Logan Thomas for a short period of time last year. I guess I just don't trust Ryan Fitzpatrick, to be able to play a whole 17-game season.
You put some respect in that Fitzmagic name.
Plus Hawkinson just went off the board too, right?
If you don't send me that, I'm comparing like the word that the stuff that you're doing right now. It just reminds me of last year's Taylor running back from Indianapolis. He was a sleeper. Nobody had.
So what do you think of Mark Andrews? Because I know some people are down on him this year, but I just felt like the value was there when I picked him.
I'll be honest with you, Greg. I'm down on him this year. I think he's going to be like the number 8 or 9 tight end this season. There's a guy you can probably get in the last round of this draft that I think is going to be the top 5 tight end.
But we can talk about him later. He can work in divisional games, though. Joe, if you think about it, he can work in divisional games.
And Andrews, you mean?
Yeah. If you drop them and just start them in divisional games.
Sure. Like, is anybody going after these wide receivers, like big name wide receivers that are on new teams? Like I see Galladay's still up there.
Yeah, people are avoiding him because of the quarterback that is thrown to him.
A lot of people are sleeping on the Giants.
He hasn't been able to stay healthy in 2 years.
That's why I'm avoiding him. Yeah, he can't stay healthy.
Jerry Judy just came off the board.
Joe, but what do you think about the Giants, Joe? Like the Giants I think they're gonna make some noise this year. The Giants.
Danny Dimes is not as bad as advertised. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know about all that, Joe. I think I'm disagreeing with you there.
He was running for the touchdown last year all alone and
exactly. Yep.
Oh, that was hilarious. I forgot all about that.
This is the problem a lot of Bears fans don't recognize. We got beat by the Lions last year.
We beat the Giants, though.
No, we got beat by the Lions here at the Soldier Field.
Yeah,
and we like the defense kept us in a lot of games, and they don't know that the Bears defense are in a decline. What makes the defense better this year? I know Goldman is coming back, but what makes the Bears defense better this year? Like, you guys tell me about.
I think the front seven is going to be better this year.
How?
The front seven's better. The secondary's horrible.
Right, the second, but the quarterback can't throw the ball if he's on the ground, right?
That's right.
So that's what you gotta count on.
But the problem is that you guys are like Quinn and Khalil Mack hasn't sacked a penny.
See, but once you get that push up the interior and force the quarterback to roll out that are not comfortable rolling out, you get them off their square, and then that outside pressure can, it just makes it easier for everybody. Like when you can apply pressure from different areas of the line.
See, I'm surprised they're by you, Johnny B, taking Sony Michel over Darrell Henderson.
Well, I just have a feeling. That's all I'm gonna say.
I got a feeling.
I like Michel. I think he's gonna be a sleeper this year. So we'll see how it plays out. That's all I can say.
Galladay is still on the board too.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good value here. I'll put it there. It's good value to get him here because he's a number one.
That's what I'm thinking.
That said, you guys could have him.
The only constant I can tell you is that Bill Belichick does not have a constant.
You guys are sleeping on Michael Gallup, dude. That guy is stud against the division.
Will is saying the things that I would say if I was giving you guys tips.
No, yeah, he is a good like, especially this late in the draft. But I also got to remember that it's only 10 teams. I was used to 12-team drafts where they start running a little thin.
Who's drafted right now?
Galladay just got taken. Mike Davis.
Hey, Braggs. Mike's listening, talking crap.
Uh-oh.
He said we have to have a vote here. He says he's the better looking partner of the Collector Cave.
Damn, I don't know about all that.
But he also said it to me in my message.
The girls I hang around with my whole life, they like the tougher look. They don't like that baby face. So I'm going with you, bro.
Yeah, and you're on the show, so we got to kiss up to you more. You're here, he's not. So I think we're going with Aaron here, Mike. Sorry, bud. you ugly bastard.
Hey, man. Who needs enemies with friends like him?
Yeah.
I need to get in touch with the collector right now, man. I need a couple of things I want to see. I want some Jake Collar stuff, Dave.
Well, I'll tell you this much, while Aaron might be the better looking, the best dancer on this show is
And I'm sorry, like
Get it, Trey.
And I'm sorry, like
Yes.
Oh man, this Friday, man, throw it down.
You let us down. You let us down that day, bro.
I didn't know. It's like, okay, this. All right, I'm not even gonna get into what the whole.
Nah, hey, I want to hear the whole explanation.
That was embarrassing, Trey.
Who's in the chat?
Was embarrassing.
Who's in the chat? I guess.
The Big Dollar Dave is.
Don't worry about who's in the chat. Just speak your mind.
Big Dollar Dave. He's really admiring your moves, Trey.
Man, no, I do want to buy some memorabilia, Dave. So let me send your number through to my boy Braggs. I want to buy some stuff. If you're the collector, let me buy a couple of things.
We got you. Whatever you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get you an Andy Dalton autograph.
Yeah.
No, I want
We'll get you a Matt Nagy's clipboard. Dennis
Cutler autograph jersey.
Jay Cutler.
I took out my Khalil Mack. Remember I had that right here, Braggs. I took it down, man. I don't believe in that guy anymore. Khalil Mack is
right back there. Wait, where's that?
Let me see.
That silver helmet right there.
Fucking sniped me, Joe.
Well, that's nice, bro.
Oh, wow.
I like
Devontae Smith was still on the board?
Who did I take?
That's a good pick. I think he's
I
going to have a
sniped you
really
with-
good year.
I will
Who did I
pick.
snipe you with, Greg?
If I was Greg, I would pick Trace Simmons, San Francisco.
I ain't telling nothing. Yeah. I ain't saying nothing.
I'm texting Braggs right now. Picking the
like
draft.
Oh, I
You
got,
like-
I
you like
got,
my
I got
Herbert
my
pick? Is that it?
sponsor helping me out here. Yeah, that's what happens. Oh man. Who's on the clock? Jay, look at Snake is really deliberating this pick. He didn't want to come into the show tonight because he had to be locked into the draft so he could just lose to us here later on.
I got to have a vested interest. I'm trying to help Braggs out so that I have a vested interest in, you know.
We shall see. We shall see.
Is,
I'm 3 picks away.
Are you guys play? Is there an entrance for the Braggs league or what?
Like I said, we have 10 spots and they're all locked in. And,
But how much do people have to pay to get in your league?
Well, we've been doing. It's interesting you brought that up because we've been doing $100 every year per team, and then we normally
That's
have a
good.
first place, and then second place gets their money back. But there's been some suggestions to wanting to go up to 200 a team, but I will only do that if every single person in the league agrees to it.
I think it's better if you do $200. A lot of more people will pay attention to it.
Big
you know?
payout, and then maybe we can add a third place winner because people have wanted three winners before, but I'd prefer to do winner take all at $1,000. But if we had $2,000 in the pot, I would consider divvying it up first, second, and third. But as I've said, that would have to be something that all 10 members of our league agree to. So
yeah, my league in one of the other leagues, they I think we got one for first and second and best record and most points in a single game. Like everybody
league.
did something.
Trey, you have a participation league.
Oh, here you go.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Well, the person that wins gets the.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Everybody
Right.
plays, you get the money back at the end.
What has the world come to it, man? Like, everybody gets a trophy now. You know, everybody wins. I don't know. That's not my world.
Hey, wait, you said you needed 10 votes from the league. What about 10 votes from people that are on the chat that aren't in the league?
I actually told Trey that I will give a prize to the winner, but whoever loses, whoever finishes up second, you know, the winner, whoever finishes second and all, they'll do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100.
Oh no, I'm out. I don't even like walking up my stairs.
I'm out. Get me out of here.
I don't even like walking up the stairs.
Or you can just donate the money to the winner then if you don't want to do that.
Can I donate $25 so I don't have to do that?
Exactly. There you go. That's it.
What are you doing? A kicker just came off the board.
Right, baby.
What a kicker!
What are you doing,
my God.
Johnny?
Oh my God!
I love it. I love that.
He was on nobody's radar. Nobody's radar.
Holy mackerel!
150 points guaranteed.
Brandon Cook, hell yeah, no brain. Oh, Melvin Gordon.
Johnny, I'm not gonna lie. I did the same thing in one of my drafts.
No. Who's trying to drop this guy right here? Who's trying to drop this guy, Melvin Gordon?
We're looking at Braggs.
Hold on. Back up. Cooks. Man, Jarvis Landry is still available. You guys not drafting him right now? Oh my God!
He's gonna have a big year. I've been watching him at camp. He's going to have a big year.
Right, he is ridiculously fast, and his route running is superb.
He's the next Deshaun Jackson for all my Eagles fans.
You know what? I cannot trust you both of you
Deshaun
guys.
Jackson the first 5 years or the last 5 years?
That's a good question.
Right.
I can't trust either you, Trey Tunes, or
Sorry,
Braggs.
the
You
Bears
guys
have
suck.
Donovan McNabb in his prime on their team. I didn't know about.
We actually have this one guy. Maybe you haven't heard of him, but he's the next Patrick Mahomes.
They're not playing him, so you don't have to worry.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he's gonna be in before
he's
you
carrying
know
water
it, buddy.
bottles right now.
He's gonna be in, baby.
Exactly, JB.
There
They don't want to hear
you
that,
see
JB.
that guy? You see him? Get ready, buddy.
Bears fans are afraid
he
he
does a
might get
lot of
tackled in
things that
football.
Darno.
Man, he just knows what he's doing out there, man.
Now roll that back. There were seven missed blocks on that one play.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Bears fans don't want to see that, bro. They just want.
Oh, there's a good one. 7-on-7.
Yeah.
Mitch. Oh wait, that was Justin.
That's right. Look at that dime ball. All right.
Hey, I think he's gonna be the truth, man, but I don't want to get him killed.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Oh, there goes Justin Fields off the board, guys.
Who just took him? Oh, Eric, after watching all those highlights. Eric couldn't help himself.
He's like, look at him. It's beautiful.
I was getting worried. You guys were all talking about him.
I like the pick.
I think he was picked 50th in my draft.
I got Mac Jones with my last pick last night. My last pick, I was the last pick of the draft. I got Mac Jones. So,
that was my other. That's my other sleeper too. I got Mac Jones in the last round of my draft.
Bill Belichick doesn't make bad quarterbacks.
Right, exactly, and he's QB1 too. So
that's it. Now my first quarterback is Josh Allen, so I just needed that bye week guy.
All right, and then you never know. He might be trade bait. You know, he might be doing so well.
What's the Buffalo schedule this year? What is it? How does it look like? Buffalo?
Buffalo's winning the Super Bowl this year. I'm going to say it right now.
I think so.
I think so. It's good money for your bet too.
What are they, 14-1? 14-1, right?
It was 17-1 when I got it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you must. Yeah, I think you got it early, man.
What are you doing, buddy?
So, every year, me and a group of guys go to Mike, my illustrious partner, went with us last year, but we do every year we go to Vegas for the Super Bowl, and I always put three FC bets, 3 NFC bets, $50 a piece, maybe $100 if I feel it. And I've gotten 6 of the last 7. The one I missed was when Tom Brady came back and beat the Falcons, or I would have cashed in on that one too.
Oh,
wow. You took the points. Probably.
No, it's straight up futures bets. So I do it the day after the Super Bowl. They release the odds for the next year, so pre-draft, pre-free agent, just random 3 AFC, 3 NFC.
Oh, so you had picked Atlanta that year and could have hit on them? Oh man.
Yeah. And that $100 bet would have paid me $18,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Now, Joe, you're the fantasy expert, and I always want instant reaction to my picks. So
All right.
I took Tony Pollard to give me some insurance off my Ezekiel Elliott worry, because every year it seems he's on my team, and I just feel like I needed that insurance policy. Did I reach too high for that?
Yeah, I think you went a couple rounds too early on him, Greg. But to have that peace of mind for yourself, I think that's a good thing.
Well, I think Zeke will do good against their own division. So when I bet on teams, I see their division, because it's easier to see how you did the last years on the division games. It gives you a little theory, and you're able to bet some money.
But Washington's defense is pretty good. You think he's gonna have a breakout game?
But then you're talking Washington, the Giants, Dallas, and right.
Well, I think they always play well against Dallas for some. I mean, Dallas always plays well against the Giants.
Talking, I'll tell them that out.
Sorry.
All right, boys. Hey, I got to head out. Got to get the kids up for school, but I appreciate you having me, Mr. Braggs and JB.
All right, brother.
And good luck to you all. Go Bears.
Bear down.
Hey, thanks for joining us. This is Aaron from the Collector's Cave.
Looking brother.
A great loyal sponsor to what we're trying to do here at Braggs in the Stands, and a good friend. And it's been nice to get to know you here these last few months. And I appreciate all your support here and what we're trying to do, man. And we're a team. We're going to keep lifting as we climb and see how high we can get, brother.
You got a customer here, buddy.
Good luck. We'll go JB, just because he's prettier than you, Braggs.
Oh, come on now. What? After I said you were better looking than Michael Hayes, you're going to do me like that?
I mean, that's a given, though, I mean, it is what it is. All right, be good, boys.
Why are you the way that you are?
I love
it. You know what? Why is everybody loving JV and he doesn't even cheer for the Bears?
I don't cheer against the Bears. I'm trying to get you guys to the Super Bowl with my experience.
Yeah, Will, you don't cheer for the Bears. What are you talking about?
That ball over my shoulder is Patrick Mahomes signed, and I had him actually sign it. Like, I handed him the ball.
Oh,
then he won MVP. Then we won the Super Bowl.
Will, what do you think of Matt Nagy?
Well, you could have him. I'll take Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy all day, baby.
Yeah, we might be getting Bieniemy at the end of this season.
Yeah.
Look at Will's geared up. Will's geared up.
Okay, hold on. Let me say something. Like, look, like I grew up playing. I grew up playing soccer, right? And I grew up so you need a type of a structure.
Right.
I trusted Nagy. It was fun. I was cheering when he did the Silent Slate and all the BS that he did. Yeah. But it was all smoke and mirrors. You know when he lost me is when Nick Foles was down. Like he was going in a hurry up offense and he had the team going. He was about to score a touchdown, and then Nagy just called the time off, and that showed me that Nagy is about himself, about him calling plays. It's not about the team. It's about what he's saying. About his ego. That's when I stopped believing in Nagy. And
the thing that makes me hesitant with him now, I've heard all the different things, with his play calling and development, and and obviously he has a lot of criticisms there, and obviously, you could point to the
he was brought up here to develop Trubisky.
The thing that bugged me the most about Matt Nagy was the discipline that ran rampant last year. When you talk about a guy like Javon Wims getting in a fight against the Saints and embarrassing himself.
Miller, too.
Not coming off the field. They had to escort him off the field. And then you don't cut him.
Right.
Then you make the playoffs in the back door. And Javon Wims is the player that drops the biggest pass of that game. Well, he shouldn't even have been on your roster. Yeah, and now he's not even on the roster this year. So what was the point in keeping him last year? You should have set the tone and cut him right there. And instead you didn't, and he dropped the pass. Not only did he drop the biggest pass of the season after you not cutting him, but then Anthony Miller gets in a fight in that same game against the exact
Anthony
same
Miller,
player that fought Javon Wims when you had a meeting during that week leading up to the playoff game specifically to not fight that guy. And to me, that shows, everyone says, oh, well, he's got the respect of the locker room because they like him. The players for Lovie Smith, they liked him, but they also respected him, and they would have never done anything like that under his watch.
Most of his years they do. At the end, they did not have the same respect. They slack as well. But that's at the end of the Lovie Smith tenure. But right now, Nagy does not have control of the clubhouse of the team.
Well, and then the other thing you can look at with him when you talk about the discipline or satisfaction to be great or not being satisfied until you're great. I loved Club Dub as much as any fan in 2018. But they should have put Club Dub to bed after 2018 when the team started to struggle. I'd always go back to a guy like Michael Jordan. If you're losing 5 in a row, 6 in a row, do you think Michael Jordan's Club Dubbing when they finally break the 6-game losing streak? No. You Club Dub once you get back to the playoffs. And, that's a mentality, and that's instilled by your head coach. So, to me – those are some of the things that give me pause, so.
Yeah, my biggest thing with Nagy is his adjustments. He's like one of the worst coaches I've seen at making halftime adjustments. You go into halftime with a lead, and then I think we only scored 2 touchdowns in the third quarter all year last year. I mean, that's pathetic. It's really sad, and not to be able to adjust to the game, that says a lot about you as a coach. I mean, that's like one of the biggest things, like that you can, and you can't look at what just happened and figure out what you have to do going forward. So, and it's not like he starts off the game so great either. So it's like that's one of the things I think hopefully he's worked on and improved. Surround yourself around people that make good decisions, and I'm hoping that they improve. Like I said, if not, we're probably going to be calling Kansas City to see if we can interview the enemy while they're in the playoffs.
Yeah. It starts at top, like this whole organization, this whole franchise is built on nothing. We don't have a good owner that knows football, and I know I get it. A lot of people tells me, yeah, but a lot of owners doesn't know football. We literally have a 90-something-year-old woman that she knows more football than George McCaskey. So it's not going to get fixed until we have real change. You have Ted Phillips there on charge, and he has to hire the next GM, and then the GM has to hire the next coach. It's not going to change, and it's sad because I love this team, man. I'm wearing the jersey right now. I love this team. I love the Bears, man. Great
pick, Greg, by the way.
Thank you, because I was stressed out about that.
I'm sorry to everyone over here, to Joe, to Jim, Eric.
Are you trying to read everybody's names?
Yeah, I'm like, I've been talking to Joe right here a little more, but I'm like, JB is the only happy person in this whole draft right now. He's like, yeah, I got Kansas City.
Right.
He took a kicker in the 6th round.
It's 150 points guaranteed, bro. We're going to score 40 a game.
So we got to start being a little more.
Did you think somebody else was going to take him?
Oh, shit, man. Everybody takes butt kicker, man. Everybody.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, you guys make your own picks. Don't worry about my shit.
Hold on. This is your pick right there, Joe?
No, I'm 2 picks away.
Oh,
these are the picks right here that have gone off the board. The central scrutinizer, aka as we call him, Snake. His real name's Jake Will. He just took Jonnu Smith, tight end out of New England, who I considered taking.
Great value.
Yeah, I almost took him over Marvin Jones, and I probably should have. But those are the
I see everybody, but I see Jim. Is that Jim? He doesn't say anything at all the whole time.
There's a lot of people here, Will, and you're doing a lot of talking.
I'm focused on the draft.
Are you a Bears fan?
He's in the draft.
I'm a diehard Bears fan.
What do you think about this whole situation, bro? Because I know you seem quiet. Like I haven't heard you say anything
mad at
about
you.
it.
He's mad at you for being mean to me.
No, I'm hopeful for this season. I mean, we hopefully. I agree. I hate Pace. They should have fired him years ago. They just keep mortgaging the future or the present for the future. And I mean, looking at all the dead cap space that we're going to have coming up, even if Fields is the guy, we're going to have struggle to put pieces around him because we're so hampered by the draft picks that we've given up,
right.
The cap space.
And people say don't root against the Bears ever, but last year there was a lot of Bears fans that wanted them to just tank after they lost 6 in a row lost 6 in a row with Nick Foles. Had they just lost out, now don't get me wrong, when they backdoored their way into the playoffs, I was like, all right, let's see what happens. But at the end of the day, they ended up being meaningless wins. Yeah. Had they not won those games, maybe they don't have to trade up to 11 to get Justin Fields, and they still have their first-round pick going forward next season. So, for all these fans out there on Twitter that are coming at me and coming at a guy like Danny Parkins for suggesting that sometimes, even if you're a fan of a team, sometimes it is within the best interest.
That's what you get me wrong, and that's what me and you we go out at each other. I said the Bears like this is going to it sucks, and then you come around my own point. You know what? But I'm going to let our boy right there, Jim, finish up his point because he was talking the real truth.
I mean, being a Cubs fan and living with all the Cubs and stuff like that and how bad are the teams that they put out there and the product and stuff like that, you just got to trust the process and hope that people are doing the right things. But, I mean, from what I've seen, Pace has not did the right things. They completely whiffed on free agents. We've overvalued picks, trades, things like that. That's why I'm kind of down on the team. But it's one of those things. We have great defense, but then we don't have an offense, or we have a great offense, and then we don't have a defense when we had Trestman. So it's just kind of one of those things where I feel like even if Fields is the future and we're going to have these issues, like why aren't we getting good wide receivers? Why haven't we locked up AR, and AR is probably going to be on the downside. And if we do sign him long-term, it's going to look bad. And so, but it's just one of those things. Our timing is never right with the Bears, and it's frustrating as a fan. At least when the Cubs were rebuilding and doing their thing, you could see what they were building to and see the process that they were wanted to. Like right now, it's just a mishmash of everything. It's now we have a quarterback, but now we're not going to have wide receivers or an O-line. Our defense, once we're ready, it's going to be aging and getting rid of people. Yeah. So it's just tough.
We have no depth. We have no depth in the secondary.
Yeah.
We don't know what the hell is going to happen with Eddie Jackson. Is he going to be able to tackle somebody in the secondary? You're supposed to be able to tackle somebody down to the freaking ground.
Well, hopefully we won't have to worry about Eddie Jackson making too many tackles. I mean, hopefully,
big plays,
right? Yeah, I mean, if Eddie Jackson's getting all the tackles, then we have bigger issues, of people getting up there that deep into the secondary. But
Rex, who's our Trey? Who's our Trey? And everybody here, answer me, Joe too. Like you seem like you're well knowledge. And
thank you.
And I remember Trey early when we were talking
Robbie
about
Gold off the board.
Good as gold.
I remember when Trey and I were talking early in the morning. He was saying that we had some depth at corner.
No, I said no, we don't have any.
But you mentioned somebody. I was like,
I said Vildor and Johnson. I said that's it. I mean, we need to get somebody else. I mean, those are two. Vildor, he's showed promise last season, but I'm not, for him to
still a project at this point.
Right, exactly. Like
I think Jalen Johnson has a chance to break out, but he'd have to stay healthy, which he hasn't proven to be able to do the last 3 years with his including college.
I like to think about I like to see Joe's opinion about Jalen Johnson. Because my opinion is that he got really targeted last season. In the last 5 games, he got exposed. What do you think, Joe?
Well, he was a little bit beat up in the second half of the season. I think now he's fully healthy in the offseason. I think he's going to be good. I do think that letting Kyle Fuller walk was a huge mistake because we have nobody else besides Johnson right now.
Certainly their thinnest position, and you're seeing different cornerbacks getting picked up off the secondary market. What do you guys think? Jake was making fun of me for my new team name. I finally retired chicken salad served cold. My Tariq Cohen Omen. I won a championship with that name. But Trey, is my team name extremely corny, or should I just ride or die with it?
Ain't nothing but a Greg thing, baby.
And I'm sorry,
Horrible name. Worst name ever.
Joe, but I don't see Jalen Johnson getting any better with the way that Eddie Jackson is playing safety. How is that going to make him better?
I mean,
experience.
Well,
the
idea is
what it is.
The idea is, with the new
I'm talking. I'll ask this to Joe. Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
I just think getting him the experience, the more he plays at this level, when he's fully healthy, I think the better he's going to get. And he's going to be the guy, so people are going to be going after him. So, what better way to get better than to be targeted?
And I also think, to piggyback off of that, their new defensive coordinator, Sean Desai, is going to go back to. Don't do it. No. They are going to go back to the Vic Fangio style.
You see,
defense.
that's
you
what
shake your head, but he is a Vic Fangio disciple.
That's for the Bears fans. There's no way. This is not a difference. This is a difference. It's going to get worse, Brad. It's not
just telling you. When Chuck Pagano came in here, he changed the philosophy of how the defense was played. Chuck Pagano has his style of defense. He's been doing it a long time. Not saying that it can't work, but it didn't necessarily work with this defense. And by all indications and reports, and it's hard to tell when you're at training camp, but I did go to about 9 to 10 practices.
What did you see in training camp?
It's impossible to determine scheme at camp or preseason. So I'm not going to stand out.
What did you see though? What did you see at training camp? What did you see in training camp?
I'm just telling you, by all reports and what you're hearing from the players in their press conferences, it sounds like they're going back to some of the philosophies that Vic Fangio did. And when that was going on, not saying he's as good a coach as Vic Fangio.
So that was getting to the quarterback, right? The philosophy that Fangio wanted is getting to the quarterback, right?
Sure. And creating turnovers, which isn't always a guarantee.
So because they make bad decisions and then you make turnovers then by picking the ball and making interceptions.
Sure.
But then you have no cornerbacks that know that. You have Jalen Johnson.
Goddamn, give him a chance. Jesus.
Let them play, Will. I mean,
let them play.
Right.
We don't disagree that they're thin there, but
right. It's like you're throwing them under the bus before they even
at least give Eddie Jackson a chance to have a bounce back season. We all have high expectations, and he even admitted himself in the latest press conference he did that he didn't live up to snuff to what his billing should be. So you should like that Eddie at least acknowledges that he should be better. But we're gonna find out,
So how is Eddie Jackson gonna get better? What does Eddie Jackson have to do and able to become the safety that he was in 2018?
Create more turnovers, do his thing as far as getting more pick sixes and stuff.
It has to be a ball hawk.
Who's your Fuller on the starting on the left side, making creating?
Well, that's going to be the tough part because as we just talked about, Kendall Vildor isn't proven by any means.
It's all questions, right? Is Khalil Mack and Quinn going to pressure the quarterback?
Well, and then there's this other guy, Travis Gibson, who
he's a beast.
This dude was making noise at camp. You're gonna know his name by the end of the year.
No,
Shut
hell
your mouth,
no.
Will, and trust me.
And I know Trey is gonna mention Tango, whatever his name is, Tonga. Oh no, hell no.
Iris Tonga. Come on, don't hate.
Man, we do have depth on the D line, man.
Don't hate on Tonga.
Man.
No, I like how it stars, how the name is stars, but I don't like the way.
Isn't it funny how when they do the draft picks and like a photo like that, you're just like, man, everybody's gonna dominate, you know, like
right.
Well, I'll tell you this much: I really like. He didn't get taken in our draft.
Yeah.
We had a 12-team league, and Khalil Herbert was taken in our 12-team league.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I think he's somebody if Montgomery were to go down, he'd get some run. But I like the Khalil Herbert pick. This guy's got some juice, Johnny B. You know, some comparisons maybe, you know, and obviously it's low-hanging fruit, but you know, it's trying to find a comparison to what he seems like.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. You see, this is delusional. You see, this is you guys, delusional Bears fans.
Heartbroken.
This is delusional Bears fans talking right there.
I love that I have control of muting you, Will.
He's still talking.
Let's see how long he'll talk without knowing he's muted.
But, I mean, I think like Joe
right,
and my boy Jim, we all can talk with each other. I know Eric wants to kick my ass already right now. You know, he's like,
there you go, too.
You know. But Joe can be boys. We can talk with each other. We can dialogue for real, right, bro? And
you can't dialogue for real with me
because you guys are two fanboys. You like I can tell my boy Eric he wants to come to the screen, and I'm a Bears fan too. Eric, I love you, brother. I want you to be happy. But I just don't want to be heartbroken, you know. I'm like,
well, he's a Sox fan, and that's probably coming here if the Sox don't get their shit together come October.
Here's the difference. Like,
they're up 2-1, Greg.
But the Bears are not going to be good this year. Like the Vegas over under 7.5. I bet they don't win over 5.5 games. They're just
that's the bet that me and Will have.
Yeah, my bro.
The over-under for me and Will is at 5, and if he wins, I forget what I have to do.
You have to call. You have to go into the ESPN chat and tell beg Little Kev to take you back.
Oh, that's right. I gotta beg for Little Kev's forgiveness if they win less than 5. If they win more than 5. Will has to come over to my house and spoon with me, and we're going to take a picture and put it on Twitter. That's his punishment. So, you know,
nuts to bits.
That's what you wanted. If the Bears won, you wanted to get spooned by Will. That's what you wanted.
But yes, that's exactly what I want.
Craig likes the muscles. You know, he likes the muscles.
What can I say? What can I say?
But no, and honest truth, like, you know, like I see Joe and even like Eric right now, even though he looks pissed, he knows that I'm speaking the truth. This Bears team is a bad team, and unfortunately, we're not gonna, you know. And I feel bad for a lot of people that are gonna be. We're all like really Bears fans, right? Like we want the best for our team, but this team is not organized. This team is not. The structure is bad. If you come into a restaurant, you ask me, and you come to the general manager, he doesn't know about food. It's the same thing with the Bears. Ted Phillips doesn't know anything about football. This guy is clueless. He doesn't know about football.
He's not numbers guy, right?
He's not respected around the league. And now you got Pace. Pace is not respected around the league as well. Joe, tell me if Pace. Do you think Pace is respected around the league, Joe?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He had a couple of good picks, but I think once Fields takes off, he might get some respect. But right now, I think he's getting slept on.
Anybody can close their eyes and hit a couple times the dart on the dartboard.
That's right. That's right.
As soon as he traded up for the one pick for Trubisky, everybody knew that he got fleeced and he's an idiot. Yeah. And it's been open season ever since.
I still try to, sometimes when that comes up in conversation, the logic of trading up to do that, it still blows my mind.
Yeah.
All right. No, absolutely no sense at all.
Honestly, I don't know if you guys want to take me, whoever is gonna listen to this podcast. I'm not apologizing for Watson's behavior or whatever it is. I would have rather had Watson quarterback right now this a couple of years before he got found than having Trubisky wasting all this time, because the structure of the team would have been different.
I mean, but if we had Watson and all these issues, would you rather just have Justin Fields the way we have
Watson hasn't been
right now?
Watson hasn't been charged criminally. Watson hasn't been charged
fine because they don't have all those tug shops in Chicago like they do in Texas and all those. So he wouldn't have been getting all those.
Why do you need so many
hand massages? So he would have been good.
Right. Have you ever asked yourselves how these guys get into that trouble? I'm a regular guy that makes regular money. I can get something.
The Patriots got caught at a tug shop on the Super Bowl. That dude's worth millions and millions of dollars. Right. If he's going to a seedy place in Florida,
yeah,
I guess just because you're an athlete and got cash doesn't mean you got game.
Yeah, the same. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what I don't. That's why I don't watch movies. I don't watch cartoons.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, listen to. He only watches
I love it. I love that one.
He doesn't watch cartoons. He only watches documentaries.
I don't watch cartoons either.
What? Who said that?
Johnny B. I don't watch cartoons.
So no Lion King. You don't like the Lion King?
That's from 400 years ago.
It's a cartoon.
I love Johnny B. That's
Lion King, man.
So you never seen The Lion King?
I watch Narcos. I watch The Departed.
Yes, I have watched the stuff like that.
Dogs.
So you're saying that you. So you never seen Lion King? Is what you're telling me?
I might have seen it.
Yeah.
I watched it, my niece and nephew, but I didn't watch it. They watched it.
Yes, exactly. Me too. I fall asleep on it. Like my wife take me to the movies. I don't watch movies like that. Man. I watch real stuff, man. I watch documentaries. I watch something can teach me.
I'm confused that out of all the cartoons you chose Lion King.
Because it's something. Because
25 years ago.
Johnny B.
I don't watch new cartoons either. I mean, I do watch Rick and Morty.
You gotta ask. You watch The Simpsons, right?
Yeah.
Does that count as a cartoon?
No
Simpsons. All right.
Yeah, The Simpsons was a good one.
You see, like a lot of people don't know.
Family Guy, stuff. Yeah, like
a lot of people don't know. I grew up. I was born in the States, but I went back to Ecuador. My parents got divorced, and I had to go back and come back and stuff like that. So I came back when I was 14 years old to live with my dad and my stepmom. So we had no cable. We had only one TV, like the one that had the wood around.
Oh, nice! Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is not even that since like 93, 94.
Right? Not so long ago, we say.
And it was if it was on, it was only the news on. There was nothing else on. You know what I'm saying? No movies on. It was just the news and talk shows in Spanish.
All right, so let's put a bow on this thing.
What
are your thoughts here on the teams now you've had a chance to kind of look through them? Tooch has given his remarks here. Have you been able to kind of scour through quickly of what we've seen here in the draft as it's laid out? How are you looking at these teams? Who did the best tonight?
Besides me?
How did I do?
I'm putting money on Josie, man. I'm putting money. I'm putting Braggs. Let me put $20 on.
You want to pull up my team real quick, and you guys can rip it apart if you want. But I'm roster baiting to myself a little bit right now. I'm not gonna lie.
This. I closed the other.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. Here, I'll pull up everyone else. I'll pull up your team, Greg, and I'll look at your team. How about that?
Well, hey, if you've got a quick rundown, that's fine, but no pressure. No pressure.
Yeah, no. I mean, you're solid, Greg. I mean, you ended up getting Mahomes to pair with Zeke and Saquon, so that could be massively huge right there if it plays out correctly. AJ Brown is a stud. I just don't know how he's going to be with Julio in Tennessee, but still a great player. Chris Godwin, arguably the best receiver on the Bucks.
I had him last year and I loved him.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's
That's
tough,
right.
tough as nails.
I want to see Braxton. You probably have that.
I turned off the laptop, so I can't share the screen anymore.
You want me to share it, Greg? I could do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think you're. Can you? Because you're.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, go ahead. I mean, you're a guy. Yeah. Okay.
I think you have to add it to the stream. I'll have to blow it up here. Hang on.
And then if you want to zoom it, there you go. You know what you're doing. You're a professional.
Yeah, Braggs learned that on Sunday.
It took me 2 months. It took me 2.5 months to learn how to do that.
Man,
so
have a good squad.
The squad looks pretty good.
You got Chase Edmonds.
I think you were cheating. I think you were cheating there, Braggs.
It was
solid bench. Mac Jones as a backup. I like that.
I got two
Kenny
quarterbacks.
Galladay.
I'm going to use one as trade bait eventually.
That's right.
So
then,
three QBs?
I got 3 quarterbacks, but I'm going to trade one of them off my bench as trade bait.
You're like my mom with 2 kickers. Okay.
Yeah. That's odds are, Greg will end up
you know you can only play 1 QB, right?
Listen, my team will roll over. Don't you worry about it. And I'm going to trade one of those quarterbacks because all 3 are going to be good. So let's go to some of the other teams.
Just remember, no one trade for Greg's quarterbacks.
No, they will.
Who's this?
He'll get to a point where he has to drop a quarterback.
I'm going to show my team. This is my team, and then I'm very excited about
Kamara and Robinson. Oh man, that's
Justin, Julio, Terry.
Scary Terry.
Herbert is going to turn down.
2 Washington starters in your starting lineup. You know,
a lot of people don't.
Washington's going to be good.
You have to pick. You have to pick the players against their own division. You know the players that the teams that how they're going to do inside their own division. So
Samuel. Okay.
People are down on Myles Gaskin, but I had him last year, and when he was healthy, I thought he was very good.
He's going to be a beast, man. He's going to be a beast again.
Why are people down on him then?
People are down on him because they I can't think of the coach's name in the offseason. It's driving me nuts. I'll think of it in a minute. But they were kind of saying, he's not necessarily going to be the number 1 guy. But he said that all last year. Myles Gaskin's going to be a PPR machine and start every week in my book. Same thing with, I think.
You got 2 people on your bench that have higher projected points than him. Is that going to be a difficult start move? Are you comfortable with Gaskins at the flex?
Myers
right now I am. Jacoby Myers might go in there because I think this is probably the best value in all of fantasy right now because this is a guy who's the number 1 wideout for the Patriots, PPR machine. And, I mean, Mac Jones loves him. So if you can get him in your draft, if you're still drafting.
I saw that one in the beginning. You're probably going to start. You're going to start him.
Let's look at Eric's team, Titties and Beers. He's always, between Snake and Eric, these 2 are the ones you got to watch out for because they're constantly making moves.
2 quarterbacks in a game.
Yeah, they're always pulling shit. Exactly, Johnny B. You got to watch it.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm cheering for Eric, man. I'm cheering for Eric.
That's pretty solid, man. You got Josh Allen, McCaffrey, Mixon. You got 2 great receivers in Calvin Ridley and Amari Cooper. If you guys didn't see today, Amari Cooper came out and said he's the best receiver in football.
No, he didn't say that. He said, I think. So when you add I think before that statement means you don't believe you are.
I'll be honest with you guys. He's not even the best receiver on his team. It's CeeDee Lamb. So
all right.
TJ Hawkinson is not that bad either. Alex Smith tends to throw to their tight ends a lot.
I agree with you, Will. I think Hawkinson has the potential to be the number 1 tight end in fantasy this year. I love where he's at. But he's got an AC joint issue in his shoulder right now.
Yeah, he's already questionable. Guys always
with Jared Goff throwing to him too, and why hasn't he broken out yet? I mean, this is his 3rd year in the league, correct?
He had a good year last year, though.
Yeah, he was pretty good last year.
Yeah,
he was pretty good last year. Yeah, he was really good last year. He's the one that broke, right? He was the one that made that points to make the Lions take that field goal, right, Joe? If I'm not mistaken, to win the game.
Of course, you would remember what he did against the Bears.
So I want to spotlight real quick the rest of Eric's team here. Devontae Smith is going to be probably the best rookie wide receiver in in Philadelphia. I love that.
Yep.
And then I want to point out somebody on his bench that I think is a great pick in Tony Jones Jr. from the Saints. If you guys didn't see today, the Saints cut Latavius Murray.
Right.
So Tony Jones Jr. is now the backup to Alvin Kamara.
Yep.
So that's a solid pick. And then the number 1 breakout guy I see on this bench, Laviska Shenault, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, is a guy who's going to be their deep threat for Trevor Lawrence. Look for this kid to explode this year.
All right, let's move over to Jimmy James' team. What's your team name this year, Jimmy?
I don't know. It's going to change because I'm not in Seattle anymore. I'm in Austin, so I got to pick
the Emeralds. Let's go over to
Emerald City Kings.
We'll check out the Emeralds, and then we'll go to Johnny B's team. We'll at least cover the people that are on the show tonight, and then we'll scour Jake's team to end it, and we'll make fun of it. Since he didn't.
There we go. I like it. He's got the king of consistency at quarterback and Russell Wilson. He's been the top 3 fantasy quarterback since he came into the league, which is really impressive. So it's solid as you can be there.
I will never draft him ever again in my life because last year I had a 6-team parlay and I needed him to just beat the Giants money line and he choked, and I hate Russell Wilson forever now.
Russell Wilson is going to bring you your money. It's a big question mark on Harris though. Pittsburgh running back, the offensive line from Pittsburgh, it's not that well. The running game is really down, but Edwards will get you there.
Yeah, and I will highlight, I think Najee Harris will be probably a top 5 running back for Pittsburgh. Gus Edwards now the starter for the Ravens since J.K. Dobbins went down. They did sign Le'Veon Bell today. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I think that's more of a depth move than anything.
I heard it was a practice squad. He's not even on a team.
Yeah,
he's on the practice squad now. They're expected to bring him up to the regular squad tomorrow. We'll see what happens or not. But either way, I'm not picking up Le'Veon Bell.
Dallas Goedert too. Like he was a stud. Dallas Goedert. I don't know what happened to him. I think wasn't he injured last year. Dallas, the tight end.
It was pretty much a little bit between him and Ertz, but he's healthy now. He's a great pick here. He's got 2 great wideouts in Metcalf and Keenan Allen. I'm all about this squad. I'm actually really liking it. Got some good depth at wide receiver.
We're looking at Jimmy's team still.
Yep.
I like Jerry Jeudy. He's a nice one. That's a nice pickup right there.
Yeah, quarterback play is my big question mark in Denver this year. Teddy Bridgewater or whoever the heck ends up being the job. I think it's Teddy right now as a starter, but
how did they not draft Justin Fields? I was like, what the?
But you know what? He did a good job drafting a lot of running backs because they're not going to have a lot of air game. So you got Dylan and Moss, so that's good. It's
very
a good draft.
solid. Yeah.
So
who am I checking next, Greg?
Well, we're gonna do Johnny B's team. We're gonna do Johnny B's team.
And running backs, so I could trade them. Unlike Greg, who loaded up on 3 quarterbacks, which
Hey,
I think I might get
wait
some
till I
value
flip.
back on
Wait
my
till
shit.
I flip. Shut. Wait till I flip one of those quarterbacks for a running back.
Nah.
Somebody's gonna get desperate.
All right, so Johnny B's got Matthew Stafford, who I think is a great pickup this year in that LA offense. I think he's going to make the secondary of the Bears look silly on Sunday. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I have a feeling he will. Solid backs: Aaron Jones, Chris Carson.
This is the guy. This is Johnny B. Like, you know, in The Water Boy, we were talking about this on Sunday. You know, when he's about to do the onside kick, and he's like, "Where's my bitch? Where's my bitch? I'm looking for my bitch for who's going to take that's going to take one of my quarterbacks." And you know, Joe, what do you think? I think Johnny B is a prime target for a trade bait for a quarterback. Dangle him one of them guys. He's got Pat Stafford.
I honestly don't think he's going to need a quarterback. I think Stafford will be enough to carry him through.
But
the
he's
whole
injury prone, and then who's on his bench? Who's his quarterback on his bench?
Dude, he was playing in Detroit. He's not in Detroit.
He's got Zach.
Can you go back up, Brax? Can you go back up again?
It's not me. It's Joe on the controls.
Joe, can you go back up? Okay, man. You got Matthew, Aaron.
Well, you can just trade him Mahomes. Like, give him Mahomes for Waller or something.
That's true. I could trade him Mahomes for running back and Waller. You're right.
I'll trade you Mahomes for my kicker.
There you go.
Kareem Hunt can be like a big player this year, man. He can win you a lot of games this year.
That's my heartbreak right there, man. I was the first Kareem Hunt jersey in all of Kansas City. I had it custom made at the pro shop. They didn't even sell them. I would have never cut him until that shook out, man. I'd have never cut him.
Yeah, I think he's your ace right there, Kareem Hunt.
I think when I heard Andy Reid, like, it sounded like his heart was broken when they released him.
Now, the reason they released him is because he lied to the team. That's why I think they all regretted how it shook out. But he basically lied to the team. If he would have been honest with the team, I think they would have, kept him around and tried to nurture him and get him some whatever help or counseling. But since he lied to the owner and the team and the coaches, they just cut him loose.
Yeah.
You know what, too, though? Like,
I still have my Kareem Hunt jersey in the closet, man. And every time I see his face pop up, he was so good, man.
Yeah, he was a monster.
Oh, I like your bench. You got Hooper, Landry, and Parker. Wow,
you got a stick bench.
Wow. So you got Sonny Michel. I was gonna say Sonny Michel.
I like Sonny Michel. Pick that too, where I got it.
And Henderson's banged up already too, so I mean, I can see Michelle having at least getting goal line carries.
Right. All right, so to wrap it up, because we don't have to go through every team, but I do want to look at, the rival for everybody in this league, Snake, the central scrutinizer. He's watching right now live with Brent at home. And I asked him to come on so we could make fun of him, and while we look over his team, but he refuses to do it. He didn't want to come on during the draft because he wanted to lock in. Now he doesn't want to come on now, so we can give him some shit. So, Joe, go over his team and make sure you say nothing but negative things about it.
It's kind of hard to get started here. I mean, if I want to start negatively, I will say I know a lot of people are high on Mike Gesicki at tight end this year. I'm not crazy high on him because of all the weapons down in Miami now. But I do like a lot of other things. I think Antonio Gibson's going to be awesome. Obviously, Devontae and A-Rob. Saints defense is going to be a little weak to start the year, I think. But I do like.
Hey, you got the Saints defense against Green Bay.
First week is a big Joe is a big mistake. First week, Allen Robinson is not gonna create any points, and then Mike Gesicki, the Miami type of offense is not gonna create a lot. They don't use a lot of tight ends.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Am I crazy to think that Darnell Mooney will put up more fantasy points than Allen Robinson this year?
Who's with the noise? Who's with the noise?
In like a bar? What is happening?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's Jimmy's. I'll mute Jimmy since he's not even by his screen because it's Jimmy.
You mute me and then.
No, it's Jimmy. See how it's gone now? I muted Jimmy's screen. I should have done that earlier. Now he's back.
I'm agreeing with Joe. I'm saying Allen Robinson is gonna have 0 points. The first
zero. I don't think that's gonna happen this week.
Zero, bro. Zero.
This is a PPR league, so he's going to have at least 6 points because he's probably going to have at least 6 catches. So,
how many yards?
I don't know. I'd say he'll probably have 75 yards and a score, maybe.
No way, no how, Joe.
Yeah.
No way. I bet you $20 right now. He doesn't. He has less than 40 yards a catch.
I'll take that back.
I bet you
He'll
$20 right
have
now.
more than that.
No,
I'll take
bet you
it.
$20.
All right.
No,
Okay,
I'm not
Will.
betting with you, Trey. I'm betting
Why
with
not?
Joe. I'm betting with Joe.
You got it, Will. You got the money to go around.
I'm in too many fantasy leagues, man. I got to pay for all those.
See, so if you're so sure, I'm so sure that the Bears offense is going to be so bad that they are going to they're not going to get they're probably going to get like 2 field goals, you know.
Well, I mean, in this case, Allen Robinson might have 2 catches for 90 yards, and you'd still lose.
They're not going to use Robinson because of his contract. They need to pay
That's
him
what I
money.
mean. They'd use him more because they don't have anything invested.
No, because Robinson wants more money. They want to sign him. They want to sign the Chiefs.
So Andy Dalton's going to be like, oh, no, I know Allen Robinson's open, but we can't use him right now. Let me
we got to protect him for his contract.
Right. Let me go to read.
You guys don't remember when Foles was trying to call his own plays, and then now he had to stop the drive so he can call his own plays. So.
Well, here let's get back to ripping the Snakes team.
All right, yeah,
okay?
go ahead. Yeah.
All right.
He's texting me.
You're
He's
right,
getting
Joey.
very defensive about it.
Yeah, you're right.
That's all right. Michael Thomas.
Tell Joe it's a terrible team. It's not good.
He's got some good players, but I don't like the Michael Thomas pick.
Yeah.
I put out earlier this year that he's undraftable in fantasy just because of how he is with that New Orleans team right now. And he's injured. Damian Harris is going to be good. I like that on the bench.
Yeah, I like that one.
Jonnu Smith is a great value for where he got him. I was hoping I could sneak him late in the draft, but I don't have a lot to hate about the bench except for Michael Thomas. But overall,
Mike
solid
Williams,
squad, but not my favorite.
Mike Williams can be a good starter in a different situation, like in a type of game.
Yep. Well, while we're talking about the Chargers, I want to give you guys that's probably going to be the number 1 pickup in Week 1 of fantasy. There's a kid that just got drafted by the Chargers, Josh Palmer. This kid is a burner, and he won the number 3 job at wide receiver in LA. So I think he's going to be the number 1 pickup in Week 1. So yeah, there's a little tip for everybody. But I like the Snakes team. It's all right.
Let me go add them to my waiver wire right now.
Go for it.
Yes. So we shall see. We shall see. I'm certainly very excited for the season. We'll have to discuss privately in our group TM that half of us don't even read. Johnny.
Hey, dude, I'm running a business. I'm not here for you guys to argue about your old nicknames from 100 years ago. How much do I owe? And then we can argue in person around here.
All right. Well, regardless, we'll have to discuss whether or not we're going to bump it up to 200, or 200, I mean.
200.
Eric, would you be in for it?
200 to make it worth it. 200.
Yeah, I'd be in for it.
All right, Jimmy, you, Joe, you.
Next year I'm in. Next year I'm in.
The more the merrier.
All right, so right here you got, how I can't count 6 people that are in for 200. I believe Jake said he'd be in, so that's 7. We got Pete, Zelms, and Calhoun that we'd have to talk to about it. I'd be for it because then the pot opens up, the winner gets way more, and then we could potentially have a second and a third place, which we haven't had before, a third place.
Will's all about that.
Yeah, why don't you just give us all our money back?
Yeah, Will will be making participation trophies for all of us, but I think we're gonna wrap it up here. It's getting late for people, and I'm gonna get to bed and eat some. I haven't even eaten dinner yet, so I'm gonna eat some dinner and get to bed. Lay them bricks tomorrow. But I really appreciate everybody coming on tonight. It makes for a fun show. Last year was a shit show trying to do all this together. Oh my God. Chubbs finally makes makes the chat. Yes, we've already discussed it. You're way too late to the party,
Greg, are you
Chubbs.
the Rams fan?
Yeah, he's trying to say I'm the Rams fan, even though I've said I'm rooting for the Bears week 1. You're too late. Once again, Chubbs, I get the last word, just like last night on Twitter, so you can kiss my ass. And but I really appreciate you guys all hopping on. And I really appreciate you guys all putting up with Will, because that is the hardest thing to possibly do.
Bryce was like, "Be nice, don't say too much, don't go too hard." I'm like, "I'm just gonna be me, I'm just gonna."
I don't know if you know this about Braggs, but he is a little bit of a teddy bear, and I don't know if you know this, but I'm gonna bring it up because it's getting close to fall. But he actually gets Christmas presents from not only Santa Claus, he gets Christmas presents from Mrs. Claus, the elves, Frosty, all of the reindeer.
Yeah, my mom, when I was growing up, Will, would label the presents.
Are you serious?
That's serious.
From the elves and all the different reindeers and Mrs. Claus. Like Mrs. Claus every year would give me socks.
Yeah, look at it.
Underwear. So I can't control what my mom does, okay? But it was a good tradition, Johnny. Regardless,
an awesome lady.
I do think this
year he's going to get
real quick,
get a present from Matthew Stafford, the newest Rams fan.
Really quick before we you guys hang up. Trey and I are going to be most likely. It's like 99% in case of anybody want to meet us. We're going to be at Lou Malnati's on Lincoln and Montrose this Friday. We're going to be doing a little live show and come and eat. That's it.
Thanks for the warning. Okay, for everybody watching, avoid Lou Malnati's.
He said thanks for the warning.
Nobody in this chat is cheering for the Rams on Sunday. You need to calm down, Chubbs.
I called him out, man. I called him out as you saw on Twitter, and I called him out here.
It's all, he wasn't in the show. He wasn't a part of the show all night. Now he wants to try to jump in at the end and get everybody dialed up. We're not going to allow it. We're going to end this show. Again, thank you guys for all coming on. It's a lot of fun. I thought it went way better than last year. We were able to actually look at the draft while we talk about it, and Eric got to say like 7 words. So
no one got on auto pick.
Yeah.
You know what?
We didn't distract you and auto pick your picks last year.
Yes, that's true. That's
true.
true. I didn't do too bad, all things considered, after the shit show for my draft. I've done much better this year. So, all right. We appreciate you, Chubbs. And we did have a very healthy discussion for the first 45 minutes of the show, where it was before the fantasy draft, and we addressed the things that you're very upset with. Me and you have had our back and forth, Chubbs, so we don't need to beat that dead horse anymore. I'm cheering for the Rams on Sunday, and then I'm reassessing after the game. So, Chubb said if they get blown out by the Rams, he wants Matt Nagy fired. So I don't know how that's any different than what I'm freaking.
Well, this is how I want it to play out. Like I do want to actually win those games, but if Andy Dalton looks bad playing, and then we can still win, and Justin Fields still come in. So we just you need Matt Nagy to see. Andy Dalton in the regular season, like he said, and then once his promise is fulfilled that he's QB1 game 1, then Justin Fields can come in.
Yeah, I completely agree, Trey.
Yeah.
The faster Fields gets in, the better it is for the Bears fans, Matt Nagy, and everybody else in between. So we shall see what happens. Certainly looking forward to Sunday Night Football. Bears versus Rams. Matt Stafford versus Andy Dalton, Khalil Mack versus Aaron Donald. Very excited for that. But we have a Thursday night game where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the Dallas Cowboys. And I plan on doing a pregame show before the kickoff of that game, but it's still tentative and working some things out in that regard. So be on the lookout for some updates regarding that. But that wraps things up for tonight here at Braggs in the Stands. The last second league. Always, never a dull moment, always at the very last second. And, for everybody in our league, let's just make sure Jake the Snake does not win. Will, thanks for coming on and driving us all crazy.
Hey,
We
you know
always
what?
appreciate
I want to say a shout out
You gotta
to.
get another last word. Here we go.
I want to say a shout out to Joe, Eric. You guys seem like you wanna kill me. Like I just want to be real about the.
I don't want to kill you. I don't want to kill you, man.
What about Johnny B? What about Johnny B? You don't want to say
John B. He's like he's enjoying his ride. I'm leaving him alone. You know when you're having a good time, you want people to leave you alone, right? Like so I'm letting Johnny B enjoys his ride. He's chilling. Why am I going to stop his party, right? Like I'm no right to
want to ruin my fun, Greg.
I love exactly,
Like,
Johnny B.
Will
I'm sending
my
you.
vibe.
I'm sending you all my good vibes for you, Johnny B. Enjoy the ride. But the rest of us, we have to deal with the reality. And the reality is, oh my God, I can still see Eric's face. You can Eric's face. Look at it. Look at Eric's face.
I just want to get back to the Sox game here.
All right, we're going to get back to it. Chubb's got the last word.
All right,
Eric
Chubb.
gets his White Sox. I'm going to win this fantasy championship.
Nice to meet you, JB.
The Bears are looking for another quarterback. I know one in mind. You guys have a good night. We'll see you next time here on Brags in the Stands. Take it easy. This is Brags in the Stands and bear down.